Okay, so today is April the 3rd. So I was just about to fall asleep, and I thought it might be good or it might be wise to make one of these recordings. I was just thinking about how I think I'm going through a rough patch, and that's one of the more insightful revelations to myself is the fact that I think I'm going through a rough patch. It's kind of like being in the fog and thinking that you're lost. You sense that you're lost, although you can't confirm it because your vision is obstructed or impaired. I think obstructed would be the more accurate word. But I've noted that the discipline routine that I had while going through the season of being unhoused, it's fallen to the wayside. Since I've been working, I've noted that there's a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of drama at different work sites, and that drama is extremely draining. And I learned from these things, like I always want to ensure that I'm not the cause of somebody else's distrust or somebody else's drained energy or somebody else's dismay. So it's important for me to pray and to submit my heart to God before I go to work, and then just to serve people. I just seek to serve God by serving the people that I'm working with, and and just doing whatever tasks are needed. And but my goodness, unfortunately there's a lot of there's a lot of just things that are not right. There's a lot of mismanaged and unaccounted for emotions, and maybe just lashing out. So people taking out their aggression, their pent-up aggression on people that had nothing to do with that aggression. And there's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot of sexuality too. I find there's a lot of just lustful or personalities that are ruled by lust. So they're jumping from one person to the next person to the next person, but they don't understand how awkward that makes the atmosphere, and then in summation, the culture. And so when somebody new comes in, then all of a sudden they're very lustful to the new person, but then very disrespectful to the last person. And then that goes for a season, and somebody new comes in and they're very lustful to that person and very disrespectful and dismissive to the last person. And if you're one of the colleagues that's exposed to this, it's just a pattern that you pick up on right away. And it's although you're not directly involved, it's very turbulent. Like, it causes a lot of issues, and it causes your colleagues to become very undependable, and just being exposed to that, it's not good. It can be very deflating, and if you ingest it, it can jade your perception, your perspective. So, anyways, a lot of things going on, but what I've learned is it's really good to admit when you need help. And I find it's difficult to admit to others that you need help, but the first step is always admitting to yourself that you need help. And I was just thinking today, like, I am feeling abnormally tired and drained, and like it's starting to veer towards the word or the feelings that are housed or encased in the word vapid, and that's not the direction that I want to go in. And so I find like right now, like where I'm at, um, I desire to get out of where I'm at. But the problem with getting out of where you're currently at is found in your thoughts. Like if I start looking at where I like what other people have, or like where I desire to be, I'm not going to be present in the moment. So it's good to have the vision, but you also have to remain focused on the next step, and kind of like a tightrope walker. The direction you're going on or going in. You don't want to veer to the left nor to the right, but you also need to be focused on the balance, in the shift of balance with each passing step. And it's a heightened focus. And so for me right now, it's imperative that, like, I've been keeping up with the writing. Um, I'm working as hard as I can for sure, and trying to learn and to grow, and to just to learn how to be a better worker. And there's some ideas that I've always desired to pursue, but then like these are career ideas, but then work always gets in the way, and then like the day-to-day rigmarole of a job can supersede and virtually eclipse you know the different dreams and purposes, or ideas that you feel purpose to pursue. And instead of like the day-to-day rigmarole of a job being the kind of like the builder of character, the builder of different skill sets, and nothing more than a rung on the ladder that will bring you up higher. It's not the end of the ladder, it's not the top of the mountain. And I find sometimes that can be quickly misunderstood, and you can get trapped in that. And it's a very dangerous thing to get trapped into, because you can lose sight of where you're going. And in losing sight of where you're going, you can lose the ambition and the motivation that keep that forward movement and forward progression, or forward movement progressing. So anyway, so yeah, I need help, and I'm very thankful. It's actually cathartic to be able to admit this to myself. And I was thinking about this, and this is what I find this is a wonderful opportunity to share this in the moment. But I was thinking about how this should be anticipated. Like, I should have seen this. I should have anticipated this, much like a runner that gets his second, or his or her second wind. And, like they get to that down point again where they feel like their body is going to give way, and then they see the finish line, and then that visual gives them that boost of energy, and they pick up speed, and they cross the finish line, and they're elated, and they're so happy, they're so joyful, they just completed that task, they completed that goal. And the adrenaline's pumping, and they're with their team, they're with their people, they're concentrating on rehydration. But then shortly after, there's going to be that dump where their body is just like the adrenaline flushes out of their body, and the lactic acid builds up, and they enter into a state of abject exhaustion. And that's what I'm thinking I should have been aware of with writing the manuscript, Random House. That was like a sprint, and I poured a lot into it, and just the subject nature of that was it's just difficult on its own, and difficult within itself. A very revealing piece, and one that's true to life. And so that was completed. I was elated. I was really excited. And then now here it is a week later, and I feel like I don't know what to do with myself. I feel very drained, and once again, I should have known this. I should have prepared for this. So I think right now I'm just going to take a quick moment to talk about what I could have done for the preparation of this, and and then I'm going to land the proverbial plane and keep this. I prefer to keep these at 5 minutes in length, but this one's going to be about 12. But what I could have done is just stick with the game plan, stick with the workout routine, stick with the discipline, stick with the disciplined eating. It's easy to forget how much these things are impacting your life until you veer away or you deviate from them, or virtually until they're disrupted. And then all of a sudden you feel the impact of the effect of not doing these things, and you don't realize how quickly you can slide in the opposite direction. So it's similar to like anybody who works out all the time and they get all that, the results from it, and it's motivating, it's encouraging, and you feel very good, you're very pleased, it becomes a staple in your life. And then all of a sudden something comes up and the diet goes a little bit, the workouts go a little bit. It's just one day, it's just 3 days, it's just 1 week, and then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks and 3 weeks. And then all the gains that you gained, you realize, as difficult as it was to gain them, it is very easy to lose them. And the after effect of losing them is actually like a psychological realization that, oh no, I had that in my grip and I let it go. And so it's wise from that perspective just to keep doing and keep seeking purity and refinement in the things that are working for you. And after you accomplish something, keep with those routines. Don't lose track of them. Kind of like somebody who goes on vacation but still wakes up at 5 in the morning and does their workout and still eats healthy while on vacation. They can enjoy the vacation and still come back and not feel like they have to get up after after a fall. And so anyways, this is something I should have been aware of. I didn't do this, but I'm aware of it, and I will learn from this and I will apply it. I'll apply those learning lessons. So this is now a really good learning experience. But I'll keep you posted, because I'm really starting to feel, goodness, I'm starting to lose hope that there's a way out of here. And the moment I lose hope, that means I've completely abandoned the vision. So that's a very dangerous thought within itself. So I'm very thankful that I'm cognizant of this in this moment. And, much like all things, I'm going to conclude with, when things aren't going overly well, or I feel like things aren't going overly well, and I'm lost in a little bit of confusion, sometimes I find the best thing to do is just to go to sleep, and then and wake up the next morning and see how I feel about it.